All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Mental Theater. We have Chloé Diz, the newest graduate in the building. What up?
Hey.
And of course, we got the elder Lakesman, Big Mike. What up, my bro?
What's up? What's up, guys? How's everybody today?
Great.
Yeah, it's hot out there, but a lot of interesting news, especially in the theater realm.
Well, give it to us.
One of which is the Universal and AMC deal, which made no sense business-wise at all. And it kind of reeked of insecurity. I was like, what are y'all doing? Not to mention, it could end up leaving both of y'all being sued frivolously. Like, what were y'all thinking?
Yeah, I think it was just AMC kind of panicking, I guess, at this point. But you know, all the other theater chains aren't on board, which is bad and confusing, you know, otherwise. And did you see the details of the deal? Like AMC supposedly only will keep the movie 17 days, which is a little over 2 weeks in the theater, and then it will go to home video at that point. So how does that really, you know, make sense? A lot of people don't even go the first 2 weeks. They'll wait till the third week or so to go to the movies when a movie comes out. So you're losing a lot of revenue in that way. And like I said, the other theaters aren't on board because why would you, if you do want to wait till it goes at home, you're going to forget Regal or whoever else is going to say, I'll wait 3 weeks. So it'll be at my house anyway. So it's just a bad deal overall. It can really destroy the whole theater structure, I guess, so to speak.
1000%. I know me specifically, Mike, you know, I don't go to the first 2 weeks. In fact, I'll probably go after the second month for a movie that I actually want to see, type of thing. So it's interesting because usually the grace period was about 90 days, 3 months, they were saying. But to cut it down to 17, not even an actual month, makes no sense. And I don't see how you can get any type of money from that, personally.
Well, let me ask you this, Chloé. If you knew a movie was coming home to your house in 17 days, would you go to the theater to see it still, or would you just wait?
I think it depends on the movie.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like Avatar or like, I don't know, something that I want to see on a giant screen, I would definitely go. Like Harry Potter, I'm definitely going to the movies to see it. But like, yeah, if it's like a romantic comedy or something, unless it's like, or if it's like a Tyler Perry movie, I would just wait until it came home.
I wouldn't watch it at home.
I can like relax in my house and enjoy it.
Right. Especially if you knew it was only 17 days, 3 weeks. So you know, that's an easy wait.
I mean, I kind of like that idea though. Like you guys are against it, but I kind of like it because it gives you that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like it pushes you to go. So it's gonna be sold out, obviously, and it's gonna be one of those things where it's like limited quantity. Who's gonna get in? Like I think they'll make more money and they'll be able to jack up the prices. There's only 17 days.
I guess marketing wise, interesting, yeah.
Well, let's go to these numbers provided by our boy JC. So in 2019, the theater business earned $41 billion. And this was Warner's business model and their approach. So they earned $4.5 billion at the box office and approximately got, 40 million users for either HBO. And I think also the TV subscriptions is included in this number as well.
Right.
But also obviously streaming as well, HBO Max and, Now and whatever, platforms they have. So that accumulated $6 billion in revenue. And then if we look at Disney and their business model of working with the theaters and not necessarily against it. So Disney earned $11.1 billion at the box office, and they approximately have 60 million Disney Plus users, which I think all of us are subscribers of that as well. So I think there's a great business model of getting money in the box office, as JC was saying, but also to get money on the back end in terms of streaming and subscription. So I feel like this deal between Universal and AMC kind of messes all that up, and they're not even going to get close to this type of money either.
Again, like I said in the beginning, I think it was a panic move by AMC because theaters are closed. and they're scared to not know when they're going to be able to open back up, and they're looking at it like if they do, it might be limited seating and capacity anyway. So here's a way for us to make, still kind of make some money off a deal with Universal by having it, go home as well and stuff like that. So I do kind of, it's kind of like for them at this point, it's like throw it on the wall and hope it sticks because they're running out of options for AMC. So kind of do. So, and they put themselves in that hole, like nobody knew the pandemic was coming, but they were already $5 billion in the hole before the pandemic started. So, of course, they had a plan, but if your business is, to get yourself in debt and then get out a certain way, you never know what can happen. So they did it to themselves,
Absolutely. And then moving right along to the theater is a possibility opening in August, mid-August, in preparation for Labor Day weekend, where Tenet has this apparently final date, which they're dead set on.
As Chloé is already shaking her head no.
I don't know about that, guys. I mean, okay, to be fair, maybe. I'm gonna put a maybe there now instead of a no.
Chloé, you got a fresh hairdo, fresh nails. you be out. I want to hear about that.
Graduation party yesterday. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm living life on the edge, guys.
Okay.
Psych.
Got the lashes going. Yeah, you be out.
Yeah, right.
On my own. I'm self-sufficient. Okay, I did this by myself. I did, all of this.
But the part about opening internationally mid-August, I think that'll definitely happen overseas. And movies like Bond or other movies, they make more money overseas anyway. So I think they're all for that. In the States, we got the same problem that we always had. Each state operates independently. So just because one state open the theaters, New Jersey still may not. So you still can't get the full revenue. So it's not about the movie coming out. It's about, is your state going to allow the theater to open? That's the real issue.
Absolutely.
And then that jumps into piracy, because if Texas got the movie out, but New Jersey can't let us go to the movies, they're going to start pirating it. And we're going to get it on bootleg, stream it some kind of way. So
absolutely. And you could also see, if New Jersey doesn't have it, but PA does, everyone from New Jersey going to PA.
Right. Simple as that. So we can't have a national opening because these states operate independent. Like PA, Eric told you on Food for the Culture last week, he goes to the gym in PA. The gym's open in PA, but not in New Jersey. And where?
And in Virginia.
Right.
My cousin got a personal trainer.
Okay.
And she goes to the actual gym.
Yeah, so same concept. If it's open in PA, not in New Jersey, they'll go to people who go to PA, but again, you'll still lose revenue with people who don't go over there. So it's just a weird thing. So I do think Tenet will be out Labor Day weekend. I think Nolan's just tired of sitting on it at this point, but I don't know if it will be worldwide opening at that point. So.
Yeah, I can see that. And then that kind of leads us in.
Would you do that though, Josh?
Would I go Labor Day?
PA. To see Tenet.
PA. Yeah. I mean, to me, it wasn't a big deal because my family always went to the Neshaminy AMC.
Okay.
Because we didn't really like the Hamilton one because it always had the bed bug issue, and back in the day, it kind of had the stabbing issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that wasn't really I wasn't really permitted to go there in my younger years. So I was always used to going to Neshaminy because it's right up Route 1. So
I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
But this actually leads us to some other innovative solutions for movie theaters, and I'm curious what you guys think about this one because it seems pretty cool. So it is, there we go, the floating cinema.
I want to hear Chloe's thoughts on this.
My thoughts on this, right? I'm all for it. I'm 1,000% for this. Let's do it today. I'm ready. I'm gonna get a boat, and we can go.
Yeah, well, it's a whole boat they got, but the only issue I had, it looks amazing. It looks dope, I feel like. But what happens if you gotta use the bathroom? That's the only thing I was thinking.
Roll over to the side and use the bathroom. Like we go kayaking.
Nah. See, I agree with you, Big Mike, because at the end of the day, each boat is supposed to hold around 8 people. So you're gonna have 8 people in your party, and all you're supposed to know each person in that party. So you're not supposed to be, mixing and matching. So each boat is reserved for a party, right? So you're telling me during the best part of the film, if someone wants to go to the bathroom, they want to go get more popcorn, we're gonna have to go all the way back to shore for you to do that. Nah. That's the part where you lose me.
And,
what's that, Chloe?
You gotta bring a water bottle or something to handle your business.
Now, again, if these boats had a lower deck, and it doesn't have to be fancy, right? That you can just go in the bathroom in, great, right? And Rob from JC's show, he had a great suggestion. If you want something from the concession stand, perhaps get a drone service to deliver it. I'm on board for that. But anything else, you're literally gonna have to move. So you're gonna interrupt everyone else. By the way, boats are not silent. So you're gonna interrupt everyone else when you have to go do these things. So they have to sort that out.
They can probably put a pier, like just looking at this picture, right? If they had a pier going down the middle where your boat is attached to the pier, and then if you need to use the bathroom, you could just pull yourself in, and then you can hop off the boat and go. I think that would work.
True.
Or a person in a boat, like a rescue boat, the bathroom boat that comes around. You gotta go. You know what I mean? You can hop on that boat and dip. Probably not. It'd be a lot of noise. I don't know. Yeah, they would have to
ultimately, these are all just, concepts, but there is no real solution besides the theaters being open back up at the end of the day, especially because we live in northern states where wintertime does come. So you can't do something like this or even really drive-ins because, you're going to be freezing out there. So, ultimately, in December, as Josh, you would know that's Star Wars month. You know what I mean? When it's cold. So it's tough to have all these other solutions really work all year long.
As I'm sure both of y'all have some experience with boats, right? So in terms of the anchor, if there's a current in the water, you're going to always have to position the boat, regardless if there's an anchor. So you might be drifting away from the screen. Oh, wait. So I don't know.
Yes.
Probably have to anchor to a pier. There would have to be a pier that you anchor to, that you can anchor to.
Yeah. Now I think maybe the concept of with the food delivery, drones, or even having like a person out there who takes the order and then rolls and gets it and comes back to you or something like that. That's not bad, but it's just the bathroom part. I think I don't see that how it can work.
Yeah,
without the lower deck. So, but it looks dope though. It does. So
absolutely. All right, and then
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Big Mike.
Do you have the one about the Australia, what they're doing with the parties in the movie theaters?
I did not. What do they got?
So in Australia, basically, they're allowing people to rent out the theaters. You can do a party up to 20 people for about $500, about $25 a person if you do that, all together. And they can still spread out throughout the theater because there's only 20 of you guys. And you're allowed to select whatever movie you want. And you get free unlimited popcorn and soda with the deal and stuff like that. So, and you get their selection, whatever selection that they have you to choose from. So that's not a bad idea.
Is it 500 Australian dollars or US dollars?
I would think if it's in Australia, it might be Australian dollar. I don't know.
Oh man, because that's all right. That's not bad. That would be $356.
Yeah, that's not bad. And then, like I said, but there will, usually you can only rent out the theater here if you're a certain stature or there's just regular, you can go on their website and do it, apparently this particular theater. So if they had that here, that wouldn't be a bad concept, I don't think, in general and stuff. So,
Yeah, I can see a lot of universities doing that for sure.
Yeah. Would you do that? I would do that. I would get 15, 20 of my friends and we could bring it out, stuff like that. See a movie, spread out.
Oh yeah, definitely make an event out of it.
Yeah. What about you, Chloé?
Of course, I'm down for any type of party. You guys know this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be hard to stay quiet though. Like I went to a movie premiere and they rented out the theater and then they did their movie in the theater and they had food set up in there. It was pretty dope. It was down in Atlanta. And they had food set up in the front. But it was kind of hard to be quiet because your friends are there. So it's like
Right.
What?
It was hard.
Nah, I'm not accepting that at all. Especially if I put down the money, or if we collectively put down the money. We put down the money to go see the movie. We can talk whenever. So you tell me you can't control yourself for an hour and a half or 2 hours?
To control myself, but it was not easy. I'm just
nah.
I mean, maybe if it was a movie that I was like excited to see, but
I mean that's fair.
In that situation, I wanted to talk.
What did you see? What movie was it?
It was a movie that one of my friends produced. My friend's sister's husband.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was a good movie. It's just a movie I didn't know, so it wasn't like it was a movie. It was a brand new movie.
That's even more disrespectful because that's like a private screening.
I didn't talk. I said I wanted to
talk. Okay.
Oh man. No, I'm just saying in general, like anyone who would want to talk during that, like what are y'all doing?
Well, I think in this concept, because we're trying to socially distance, if 20 of you guys are separated, then you less likely to talk and whatnot. So,
that's true.
I mean,
and again, I wouldn't mind talking for like a cult classic like Friday or House Party, because then it would be an enjoyable experience. Like that one I get. But for like a specific screening of a specific film, nah. In fact, I would probably know who would be those type of people. They wouldn't be invited anyway.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the Tenet, they're dropping Inception, I think, next a couple weeks too in some of the theaters. So I don't know, if Jersey or PA or whatever be able to watch it, but they're kind of like a tag along, I guess, 4-10, whatever. I mean, I know you just watched it recently, but I would love to see the cinematography of that in the theater again if I could. So.
Yeah, specifically IMAX. That would be great.
Yeah, definitely.
I still didn't like the snow part in that movie.
The snow? That's the best part. Why do you like the snow part?
I asked, I took a little side poll of my girlfriends, and they were like, yeah, we didn't like that part either.
Why? Why do you like that part?
It was random. It was super random. It's like, okay, now there's an avalanche. Like, I don't know. I didn't. Maybe it's better in the movie theater on a larger screen.
Wait, so Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've seen a couple times. Let's say at least 10, right? So, as I believe, the whole aspect of that level is just a constructed dream level. That's it.
Yeah, you're correct.
So I don't think it has anything to do with the weather.
Why would she put it? I feel like they just wanted to throw in that scene on a mountain. Like they could have picked somewhere different. Like they had, they had her when they first met the chick, and she's like the architect designing all this. They're in a city, right? So you would expect when she's designing these layers that there would be some type of city, not a mountain with a secret layer. Like, it was just really weird. Like, how did the guy, he was just randomly, like, if that was me, I would be like, wow, okay, I'm up in a mountain now. Like, I don't know. It was weird. Like, how didn't he know he was dreaming? Was he dreaming? He was dreaming, right?
Yes, that was like a third level.
It was. I didn't.
By the way, all that logic isn't there when we're in our dream, guys. Let's be honest here. We ain't gonna be like, oh, this is a weird place. Am I dreaming? No, you're just gonna go with whatever's going on.
That was weird.
I love the part when Tom Hardy is like going down on the mountain, like and he's shooting the bad guys. Like that part's dope. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why I like the snow scene. So
see, that's why they added it for men.
Okay.
Like the best scenes, the snow scenes, so much action. Woo. I'm like, okay, I'm lost.
In the sauce, apparently. Congratulations, Chloe.
Yeah. What we got next, Josh?
So, this is an event I've always wanted to go to once in my life. And apparently they did the virtual version, which was Comic-Con at home. And apparently it absolutely bombed. And according to the data, thank you, JC and Variety, right? From social media analytics firm Listen First, tweets that mentioned Comic-Con at home were 95% down from 2019's live convention. Just 93,000 tweets over the 5-day event against 1.7 million tweets in 2019. Tweets about the top TV events were similar, down 93%, and tweets about the top 5 movie panels were down a shocking 99%. And to be fair, I'm not too shocked because in fairness, I don't think it would be fair to compare what was going on in the, let's say the fantasy realm now versus back then, because back then you had it was just post Endgame and everything like that. So there was much more excitement about going to Comic-Con then, even though it was in person. But for me, I'm not gonna get that hype over New Mutants. Haven't seen it yet. And they had another panel that, again, it was okay. I mean, whatever. But I'm not jumping out the gym for that.
It was post Endgame and pre Rise of Skywalker, so it was a lot of big things on that particular panel. So you had the Marvel people breaking out what's going to be happening after Endgame, which people were excited to hear about that. And also, just I think I don't know, people are, if it was at home, but people are still doing stuff at home. Might have been on other Zoom calls, might have been at a graduation party, whatever. So I feel like that's different than being there and putting your energy into being at Comic-Con. And the third thing I want to say is that I think it's less excitement for the movies because, people don't know when they're actually going to really come out. So they have less excitement for this particular movie, talking about the stuff in this movie at Comic-Con. So I feel like that's part of it too,
I mean, Comic-Con is about the experience, right? I think the panel is just an added caveat of the experience. So people go, they do the cosplay. It's a whole community type of thing. So for it to be down 99%, that makes 100% sense. And then the tweets too. When you go to conventions, especially Comic-Con, everyone's dressed up in outfits and stuff. And so a lot of those tweets are pictures and posts oh my gosh, I got to meet this person. And then another fact is you get to meet the actual actors. That's the only reason people go. So it's if you're watching them on TV, but you could just look at them on Instagram or whatever, another social media platform, it takes the excitement out of Comic-Con, period. I didn't even know. I heard nothing about Comic-Con this year, actually. And that's strange because I usually want to go because people talk about it so much.
Right. Me and Josh were supposed to go this year, actually. We talked about it last year, and I always wanted to go. But apparently, I didn't know until JC mentioned, you got to actually get on a list or a raffle to even get somewhere to stay for Comic-Con. That's how crazy it is. So yeah. I'm upset about that. Maybe Comic-Con in New York would be easier when they have it there because we live so close to there. But yeah, I just think that I don't know, man. It's one of those events like many others that will happen this year or have happened that it's going to be what it is until, I think what Chloe's point is true. Some things really are events and you can try to make them virtual all you want, but it's just not going to be the same for people overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and the show that we all know, love, and appreciate, which I think is going to be a big deal for fantasy genre moving forward, similar to how House of Cards was for Netflix and streaming. So Mandalorian was nominated for Best Drama Series for the Emmys, which is massive.
I know. I'll let you guys talk about it.
I mean, like we said, we all know how much we love the show. Amazing show. I definitely think it deserves to be here. Will it win? I'm not sure, but I think when streaming really turned a corner was when House of Cards star Robin Wright won a Golden Globe, and then you had that massive shift to looking at streaming services in a more serious manner. And I think this is only going to add to this. What do you think, Claude?
I think it deserves an Emmy. And I think that especially within the COVID times, why wouldn't streaming services be a part of the award ceremonies? Especially since we're not going to the movies anytime soon, number one. And number two, that's what's generating a lot of money. And so usually award ceremonies, they gravitate to where the money is. So why not?
I think it was well deserving. It's an amazing show. I am surprised that it, for an outstanding drama series, if you look at the stuff in that category, you wouldn't think a show, fantasy type show, would ever made that. But that goes back to the division of Feige and Favreau, I guess, F&F in this point, and what they had for Mandalorian, because it's kind of like a Western when you watch it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that, it's big for Disney Plus overall, because they just came out in December and they already got nominated for an Emmy, that station, that channel. And it's big for Star Wars, and it's just big for the whole type of, look at that. I mean, you got it in a category where The Handmaid's Tale. You can have two opposite shows, and it's like the way that it made it is amazing to me. So
absolutely. I mean, Stranger Things, Ozark, right? The Crown, Better Call Saul. I mean,
yeah.
It's
I do want to watch Ozark at some point. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, I think it's amazing. I mean, I don't think it'll win, but I'm happy that it got nominated. So
I mean, it's a Disney show, and then they use the new technology to film it.
Yes,
it's Disney. Yes. Like, I don't expect anything less of Disney.
Yeah, Disney's smart. They're huge. I wish they would drop different. Yeah, because they just had the Beyonce show, right? The other or whatever the other day.
Yeah, the visual. What is it? Visual album.
Right. Right.
I didn't watch it, but I'm gonna watch it. That's on my list to do.
Man, I've had women literally text me like, "Can I have your password for Disney Plus?" All just to watch the Beyonce.
Wow.
You gave it to them, Mike?
Huh?
You gave it to them?
I got no comment on that, but I want to watch this. So,
wow, we actually have a surprise guest in the building, Tony Stark Jr.
What's going on, guys?
I'm surprised you're awake after last night.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I just got up like a minute ago. I was up all last night messing with this stupid computer. I'm just gonna send it back, and because it's under warranty, and get them to like whatever. I don't know.
The one you just got, like,
yeah, it's driving me crazy. Like I'm trying to. It's Josh's fault. Josh is Mr. Perfection. He got this super microphone and all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I gotta have my stream super quality. I gotta make sure it looks fine. So I'm Googling and searching the best settings. So I find the settings. My thing is running at 720p, 60 frames per second. It looks really nice and crisp. And now my laptop, like the laptop itself, as I'm playing it, the internet for some reason is like cutting out. So like the stream looks great, but what I'm playing looks bad. I'm like, what? So I literally went to sleep like 5:30 in the morning. Like, no joke. It might have been later than that. The sun was up. Like, I remember last time I looked at my watch, it was like 5:34. And I still was messing with it. I'm done. Anyway, I'm sorry. But
so what you're saying is that you mess with it so much that you broke it, basically.
Probably. Because at one point it was fine, but I kept trying to find like the right, like I kept wanting it to be better and better because of somebody. And
food for thought, Tony. The first, I would say 90% of my streaming career was done on Wi-Fi. So there were a lot of lags. I just recently got the LAN. I ordered a 125-foot LAN cable so it can come up to the studio here.
No, I do remember you saying that your internet in your room was bad and you need to get the cable. But anyway, man, it's just frustrating because I got stuff I'm planning. Like I need this to be ready shortly. And
that's how I felt about that PlayStation. I ain't gonna hold you. I gave up though.
Did you?
Still not working?
Nope. But you know what? Thanks, Tony, because I got further than I've gotten before. So
cool.
But I gave up because it was a lot.
So so it's done? You think it's not working at all?
I'm gonna attempt to try again when I have more patience. Because sometimes you just gotta stop and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, come back with a clear mind.
True.
That's strategy.
Fair enough.
So we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna just buy him another one. How much is the new PlayStation gonna cost?
They don't have a price yet. PlayStation is holding out for Microsoft. So they're literally playing the craziest game of chicken. PlayStation went on record and said they're not going to say their price until Microsoft say their price. But in the gaming world, Microsoft has more money than Sony. So it's like the person who can just drop their price, you want to drop your price after they show their price. They're kind of like, look, we don't have to show it at all. Because whatever y'all say, we can drop it and get away with it. So it's kind of crazy right now. So no one knows. These systems are supposed to be out in the next 3-4 months, and we have no clue how much they're gonna cost because they're waiting for each other to make the next move. It's
so
like,
are y'all going with PlayStation or Xbox or both?
Well, hold on, Josh. Don't make that face, because I'll say this, right? Now, as I got older, what rings in my head is value, right? So right now, the Xbox is going to be the more powerful system. And from day one, it's going to have more value because if you were like not a diehard, like I'll say fanboy, I don't want to say fanboy, but fan, then the Xbox from day one, to me, if they came out the same day, you could, if they was the exact same amount of money, the Xbox is going to be way more valuable, right? This is just what I mean. So let's say your nephew, right? He's a little kid. I mean, what game is he really like? Oh, no, he's going to be, I just want to play Fortnite, right? So you could literally, let's say both of them is going to be 500, right? You could buy the PlayStation for 500. And let's say we all don't have so much money, right? So let's say it's $500. You're probably going to buy one game, right? Let's be fair, right? So you're going to buy the system and one game, right? So that's probably 560. Actually, talking about the games might be $70 now. So let's just say you spend $600, right, to start, right? Let's just say that $600 gets you a game and 2 controllers, right? But you could A, spend $600 on the PlayStation, or you could B, spend the same money on the Xbox, don't buy a game, but subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, which is $14.99, and it's gonna come with like 20 games out the gate. Like, because Xbox they're doing like a Netflix thing. It's a subscription. So you pay $14.99 a month, and it just has like Netflix. You know, when you turn on Netflix, you don't pay for a movie on Netflix. You just turn it on. It's a catalog of movies, and you just pick and choose. You know, it might not be the greatest movies, but it's movies. So Xbox thing is they're trying to wow people with this subscription of games, Netflix of games. And to me, I'm like, dude, that's a lot of value because technically, instead of me spending $60 for one game, I can spend $14.99 and get a bunch of games. Plus, right, the Xbox exclusive games. So if you're an Xbox guy, right, and you love Halo, you love Gears of War, you love their stuff, those games are included in that $14.99 price. Like PlayStation, you can't compete. Now, to Josh's point, I feel like gaming is a popularity contest, right? So whatever you really liked before, like you're not gonna not be a PlayStation guy and all of a sudden be like, oh, they got Game Pass. Let me get you're gonna buy the last thing you were really into. And right now, PlayStation 5 is the #1 thing on Amazon wish list. And the crazy thing is when Microsoft came out with their reveal, which was a week ago, where they showed all these games, they was like, oh, they're all gonna be included in Game Pass. People really don't like that. People actually want them to come out with games and make it like the next gen system, because the one problem Microsoft have is they said every game you've seen you could still play on the old system. So think about it, right? If I'm a diehard gamer, right, and I'm gonna pay $500, right? I want this game to only be able to work on the next system. I want to be like, look how great it looks. Microsoft thing is they're catering to like, listen, if you don't got the next system, don't worry about it. It still works on the old system. So it's kind of like, so if I don't got to get the old system, then if I can still play the old system and I don't need a new system, then what's the point of buying it? So like, if everybody like, huh?
So basically, just get both. Like if you got a PlayStation 4, just get an Xbox, or vice versa.
I mean, I mean, in terms of the next system, I mean, it depends on what type of game you are. I mean, they're holding you based off of like exclusive. So if Josh really liked, let's say, The Last of Us, Uncharted, I mean, PlayStation has way more exclusives. So it's kind of like if you're a PlayStation guy, you can't get those games on Xbox. You can't, right? But my only issue is none of those exclusive games are coming out at all in the next maybe 2-3 years, right? So it's
so maybe they're gonna do, instead of movies, right? Because we're talking about the movie theaters opening. Maybe they're gonna have like the Mandalorian turned into a video game and like make their money that way.
I mean, Josh mentioned that a long time ago, and that would be cool because the way the Mandalorian is, it almost feels like it could be a game. You know, it's like you're leveling up, you know, blah blah blah. But that'd be cool. Yeah. But anyway,
have you finished the Mandalorian, Tony?
Let's talk. What was you guys talking about anyway?
The Mandalorian, and it being nominated for an Emmy. So that's why.
Was that really the last Emmy I was talking about?
Yeah, it really was.
Look, man, my daughter's holding me up, man.
Show him, Josh, the Mandalorian.
Absolutely, I'll bring it back up. But just FYI, Tony, isn't the Spider-Man 5 game with Miles Morales supposed to come out one of the first games on PS5?
Okay, that is true. And I guess
exclusive to PlayStation.
No, yeah, I mean that did sell a lot of PlayStations. That definitely it became one of PlayStation's greatest hits. So yeah, that's true. I guess so again, it's like fan service, kind of like, well, not fan service. No, that's a smart move. So if you really love the Spider-Man game, that's definitely going to sell you. I mean, right now they did I'm gonna cut short, but they did a survey in Europe, and is European survey, and this is crazy. 85% of the people in the survey says they are looking to buy a PlayStation 5, and 15% said they're looking to buy an Xbox Series X. That's so huge, right? But again, I said it's popularity content. I feel like it's a little skewed because PlayStation 4, I mean, outsold Xbox One. Like, it's literally the craziest, like, you know, they crushed this generation. So it's like, who's gonna really, like, they're not doing enough with the Game Pass thing to turn hardcore fans, right? Me, I'm in the between, right? So I'm like, I was just like gaming, you know. I get that those games that Sony usually come out with are really one-player games or more of a multiplayer game. They ain't coming out for 2 to 3 years anyway. I got the money. I'll probably buy them both at some point. So the day one system, maybe I'll buy the Xbox because I'll pay $14.99 and get a bunch of games, you know. But the hardcore guy that got to choose one or the other, it's gonna be PlayStation. It's gonna be PlayStation. Yeah. And it's sad because if you were buying something for your kid probably gonna be like, Mom, I want that PlayStation. But if you really looked at it, you'd be like, I could spend less money, get the more powerful system, and get Game Pass that's gonna come with like 20 games at launch. And almost every game that was ever on any Xbox is gonna be backwards compatible with the Xbox Series X. That's a big deal to some people. And the PlayStation, their top 100 games are gonna be backwards compatible when the PlayStation 5 come out, and that's it. So it's like Xbox is giving you more value, but again, it's a popularity contest. This value is being overshadowed because PlayStation is so popular, you know?
That's true. And just to wrap up this point, I do believe the fact that it is a popularity contest and people do ride or die with those systems. I feel like whenever I look at upgrading to the new system of a PlayStation, so going from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, is with the anticipation of having a PlayStation with better everything, better graphics, better gaming. So you're progressing and you're evolving and developing as they're developing. So it's the same type of thing, like signing up or following a channel like Mental Theater or a brand like Mental Theater from the inception stage and letting it grow and grow and grow. That's how communities are built.
No, you know what? I think your greatest point is cannot be that's the reason why PlayStation is going to win. I said it from the beginning. I said it's a popularity contest. So who has the lead last time, and we're not talking about a little lead, right? It wasn't like the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, I want to say. Like Xbox definitely outsold them. But it wasn't like the numbers now. The PlayStation 4 like superseded the Xbox. The numbers is crazy. So like you said, people want the bigger and better next thing, right? So if they're coming out with like let's say Tenet, right? We're all like, man, Tenet looks amazing, and then they throw out there it could possibly be part of the Inception world, or could it be a prequel, or could it be a whatever? And you're like, if Inception was amazing, you want the bigger and better thing. Of course, we're clamoring to go to the movies to see it. So it's kind of the same thing. That's a good point. Thanks for throwing it in.
Absolutely. And to Mike's point, so what we were talking about just as you joined was that The Mandalorian got nominated for Best Drama Series at the Emmys, which is a massive deal for the fantasy genre fandom.
Right. Now, again, I can't really talk. We all know I only seen 3 episodes, but drama? I didn't see the last, I gotta watch 5 more episodes, but drama? Got nominated
more drama than comedy, though. That's why it's in that category.
I gotta finish the whole thing. I'm like, really?
Well, it's built like a Western. I don't know if you're seeing that yet where you're at.
No, I said that from the beginning. I said, dude, remind me of a young Clint Eastwood. Like, I literally said that before anybody said anything about it feeling like a Western. I said it felt like, it was like like he felt like a young Clint Eastwood. He could have been Dirty Harry or something.
Yeah, and that's
the
what
vibe
they said.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying, like when it was made. Like it was made like a Western and stuff like this. It's funny that you saw that right away. But I think that's I think they kind of put it towards more of a drama type of deal. And once you get through it more, you'll see what a drama is in the show. I guess, especially as compared to comedy, it's way more drama than comedy. But we were just speaking on the fact that it's a Mandalorian and it's a Disney Plus type of fantasy show, and how it's nominated for an Emmy with other shows that you wouldn't expect it to be with, and how big that is for Disney Plus in this genre, stuff like that. So, because you don't really see those type of shows getting those type of awards.
I definitely agree. But could I get a little bit of conspiracy now? Could it be that Disney got a lot of money and somehow the pandemic is all crazy and somehow they made sure, like, listen, if we could get nominated for an Emmy, then maybe we get more people viewing, and somehow one hand is shaking the other, and so because that is kind of strange. I didn't watch the whole thing yet, again, so I can't really say, but I'm like, really, I got nominated for an Emmy for that show and drama? Just saying.
Well, to your point, if you don't mind, Josh, but to your point, I do feel like, and Chloe said this earlier, Disney's very, it's Disney, and they're very smart and strategic and stuff in what they do. They got 60 million subscribers for Disney Plus with no new shows besides The Mandalorian. So that's somehow, they're getting people, and they probably got another 10 million this weekend when they drop the Beyonce visuals, because people love to see Beyonce and stuff like that. So
I guess because they have so many things that's fan favorites, right? Childhood stuff. Like I said in the beginning, this is no lie, I'm not even exaggerating. When it first came out, my one friend, we were all in chat. He was like, dude, I fell asleep watching DuckTales last night. I'm like, really? And he's bragging because he fell asleep watching DuckTales. I'm like, but Disney has so much a massive catalog of different things that was classic, and new stuff. I think what they wowed people with was all this Marvel content. There's people that like so much classic Disney that the future Marvel content that ain't in that close in sight, people was like, I'm getting it anyway because they're going to be on there eventually. And they got all this old stuff. Whereas, somebody like me, I'm like, when they get the new stuff, I'm in. Like, I'm definitely getting it. Like, but you're not gonna get me off DuckTales. Like, what I'm saying?
That's fair. And Falcon Winter Soldier apparently drops this month or September. So there you go.
Then I'll be getting my subscription. Trust me. When that comes out, I'll be getting my subscription. Yeah, I'm not missing that.
Speaking of wonderful content based on a subscription service, apparently The Witcher is going to have a prequel series. It's going to be a live action limited series, and it's going to be based 1,000 years before. And it'll be interesting because it's going to lead up to the current world that it is now. It's going to show the inception of the Witchers, that race and all that magic, and then how that leads into the characters of the modern day story, which is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I did hear about them having a prequel, and I think The Witcher, man, like I don't think many people care that it was a video game.
What do you feel about that?
I think that it is such a clever show. Because right now, right, what other show is similar to The Witcher, right? Like set in that fantasy realm, but the whole thing with him, like a guy that got a contract to kill creatures, right? Like that alone is cool. That alone rings with me and make me interested. Now, regardless if I felt the way it was set up, nailed it, but the concept and the genre of the show, that alone have me hooked, where I'm like, I'm in, I'm sold. So it's a different fantasy than like our regular fantasy, so I think, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's they got a gold mine with The Witcher. I personally think. What do you guys think? I know you're fans also.
I think they have a gold mine as well with The Witcher. I also feel like that this will be dope to see the first Witcher and the origin of how The Witcher itself came to play.
Right.
I think it can go from this series can have several parts, then the regular series can have several parts. I think Netflix really knew what they were doing, and Cavill, he might be onto something with this. So yeah, I like the show a lot, and I heard the second season won't have that kind of, I don't want to say it because Chloé didn't watch it.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it won't have that way. So I think it'll be dope.
Yeah, I felt that.
I mean, I figured as much because it wouldn't make sense in the season 2,
Yeah.
And I think the main question is season 2 going to come out before or after this prequel? I guess we don't know.
I just assume that because they were talking about season 2 first, because they were talking about season 2 a while ago, and then just recently mentioned this 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, either way, I'm in. So,
right, and I think it's very clever because it looks like they're trying to be a somewhat competitor in terms of that fantasy genre realm, like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, and have a successful prequel. But they've already put themselves in a box, but possibly strategically, where you can only have you're only gonna have one season. It's gonna be a 6-part series, and that's gonna be it, called Blood Origin. So it's not like it's gonna be a Game of Thrones, which is gonna be very intensive, where you're gonna have multiple seasons. So this is the 1 part. So it kind of allows them to hedge their bets. Were you about to say, Chloé?
So since I haven't watched it yet, would you recommend that I watch season 1, 2, and then the prequel? Or do you recommend that I start off with the origin series and then go forward?
You should watch it as it came out. You should watch.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
you should watch it
and then watch the prequel. Yeah. I messed up. I'm sorry to cut you off. I messed up with Star Wars of all things, because I watched it in order rather than how it came out, and people tell me I messed up with that all the time. So I watched Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 instead of how it came out. So. And
speaking of, please don't do that with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Don't watch The Hobbit first, even though The Hobbit, in terms of chronological order, comes out before Lord of the Rings. Please watch Lord of the Rings first, and then The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Could I ask you guys a question? Throw this out there.
Yeah.
If you was on a plane ride, right? No, let me change it. If you were on a cruise ship, and so you had to only watch one thing, you could only watch one thing, right? So you're in a cruise ship, so you got some time. What would you choose? And this is for Mike and Josh. If you could only watch The Mandalorian, or you could only watch The Witcher.
All right, I'm gonna expand upon your question because you're going in a great direction. So let's imagine you have a 14-hour flight to Dubai from New York, right? And you,
Okay.
and to answer your question, you only had one opportunity to watch a series all the way through. You're saying Mando or The Witcher? I would say both because you have enough time because Mando's only 30 minutes per episode.
Well, that's why I was like, hold up, because I figured The Witcher, if you add that up, that's some time, because that was a real show, real length.
Yeah.
But no, come on, Josh, you can't do that, man. One or the other.
I would definitely do Mando again.
Mando,
Okay.
yeah, I would say, man, if you just have with show, I mean, without your parameters, had to choose a show, I would go with Mandalorian again, 100%.
And it would still leave you
With your
time to
parameters,
watch.
I can watch Mandalorian in like 3 hours, so I'm done. I mean, that'll be
exactly
right. So, but yeah, so I would definitely watch. But Mandalorian is a better all-around show. However, The Witcher, it was only its first season, and it wasn't, I guess, thought out as long as Mandalorian was, because that's been in play for like many years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think The Witcher can get better and stuff like that. And it's Disney versus Netflix, right? Disney got way more money, so you have a better production style at that time. So there's that too. So, but Witcher's a great show. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
But it's just honestly, to be honest with you, I would choose The Boys over Witcher though. Like Witcher's good, but it ain't to me like on their levels.
So let me ask you guys this: if you've seen this, I was out last night, and a guy said to me, I was telling him about The Boys, and he said he didn't see it yet, but he said, and he thought this show was, he didn't watch The Boys yet, but he said this show was probably better and more graphic. Watchmen on HBO. Did any of you guys watch that yet? Because the way he was talking, I was like, man, I almost want to get HBO to check out Watchmen because I watched the movie and the movie was pretty good,
I haven't, but that has been nominated for like 12 Emmys. Watchmen, including Regina King for Best Actress in a Drama.
Right.
Shouts out to her.
Yeah, he had me look her up because he couldn't remember her name. He was like the girl who did the voice for Riley and from the Boondocks, right? It's Riley and whatever the other kid name is. And what's his name?
Huey.
Yeah, Huey, Riley and Huey. So yeah, I looked it up. I was like, oh, Regina King. I was like, what? I didn't even know that. So that's, wow. I didn't know she did that voice.
That's what he knows her from, of all these. That's
hilarious. Yeah.
Like not 227 Enemy of the State, like all the other movies she was in.
He remembered her from that. Boondocks is like a cult classic though, man. There's people who like,
but it's so new. She's been around so long and whatnot.
I mean, Boondocks is kind of old now, man.
Bro, she was in 227 in 1989.
I got you, but you got to think how old is somebody, right? So I don't know how old.
I mean, the first time I saw her was Friday, so
yeah, Friday. That's 1994. Like it's Friday. That's where you knew her from. So.
I mean, Mike, you was born in. All right. Anyway, whatever. So let's not go down this. But anyway, so none of you guys watch Watchmen though.
Not yet. It's on the list though.
It's on Max though, right? It's on a new one. It's on HBO Max or is it on? I don't know. HBO confused the hell out of me, but
it wasn't on my list, but now I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm more interested now in Umbrella Academy because I heard the second season better than the first, and I'm like, you know what? Now I want to watch that. Did you watch the second season yet, Chloé? Just dropped of Umbrella Academy. Can she hear me?
Mm-mm.
You guys hear me right? I said, did you watch the second season? Oh, okay, all right, gotcha. Yeah, I want to watch that now.
I have a little lag.
I know, it's fine. But I want to watch that now, Umbrella Academy. So the first and second season now of that. So that's my next.
Wait, is the second one that had Mary J. Blige in it?
The first one had Mary J. The second one just came out over the last week, the other day.
So I didn't watch it yet.
I watched 2 episodes in the first one when it came out, but then I didn't finish it. But now I want to finish that and the second one now.
Could you give us I seen the trailer, but I was like, I never heard of it. And I seen it and I was just like, what is this? But you know how I wasn't paying attention, right? Could you give us a synopsis? Like, what is that about? Like people got special powers or something like that? Or Mike?
I don't really remember it. Something about superheroes and they grew up in this like boarding home called the Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
It's kind of like X-Men-ish.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I think they were born, or they had like like X-Men, like if they had like a gene or something like that, and this doctor went around and got all these kids and put them in a school and tried to teach them how to use their powers. And at some point, he died, so some of them left the house, and then they all got to come back together to kind of save the planet or whatever. I heard.
Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. So
then because it's kind of sort of on the same topic. What do you guys know about the Jamie Foxx thing that's supposed to be coming on Netflix? That looks like something with special powers and all that too, right?
I think that premise is if you can have special powers for one day or something like that. And
or is that with the pill? Is that the thing where you take a pill?
Oh, that's the pill. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a pill.
That's kind of like Limitless. I'm like, yeah. It's kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know when that's coming out though. So, like that. So. Hey Josh, you want to show Toy the boat theater? See what he thinks about that.
Yeah, I was just about to do that. The floating cinema, Tony Stark Jr. for your consideration.
Check this out. Oh, okay. When you first said it, I was kind of wondering. Wow, that's cool. We went out last night, and my friend, she has a boat. So next weekend, she invited us to come out on her boat, and so it's funny that you said that because we're about to go on a boat next weekend. But I could see that. Talk about social distancing. Yeah, I feel like the screen should be bigger, but
yeah.
But that's a cool concept, right? If you're good at driving a boat, you should be able to pull in and pull out. You know, if anybody's on their own boat, you shouldn't be able to touch anybody else, right? That gets the whole 6 feet thing. Wow. Now, here's the issue, though. I guess floating in the water, trying to watch it. Hopefully you're not seasick. And then, excuse me, I guess you'll have to have an anchor, right? So you can stay in that one spot because you can't dock. So, but obviously, what do you guys think about that?
Well, we talked about what if you got to use the bathroom. You're going to have to miss the movie to go to the bathroom. That's the problem.
Oh, you mean if you got to drive off, I guess?
Yeah. What can you do? You kind of
yeah, because these are little boats. This isn't like a boat with a bathroom on it.
With a lower deck, exactly. Yeah. So that's what the issue.
Well, then
if you got people with you and they got to go. Now you got to miss it because they got to go. So
yeah, I guess
this would actually be dope as like when you could go tubing down a lake. I mean, not a lake, down a river. I would do that instead of being on a boat.
Yeah, but tubing would be harder because it takes all right, so tubing you're going to keep moving, right? A boat has an anchor that you could throw out so it could stay stationary. The tubes you just float in, and if you put something heavy enough to stop the tube, chances are it's going to be kind of trying to pull you down. You know what I mean? So that tubes would probably be hard for you to stay in one location. Right. But I think if they did something, have any of you guys been to Secrets in Ocean City, Maryland?
No.
All right. Well, if the world was normal, it's like a must thing to do. But it's a restaurant, club, bar, all of those things on the beach, right? So they got a guy on the board, on the pier. The DJ's on the pier. Thank you. Playing music, and people are in, like, they got the tubes, and it's just a massive amount of people. The restaurant is like on the beach. People are eating on the beach, and so it's one of those things where people could be in the water, but they got their tubes, and then they got their tables. So literally people are eating in the water in their tables. And if they had a big screen, so you're all in the water, you got your tube, so you're really not touching, like that, kind of like everybody had a little bit of social distance, but like you said, they're in a tube. So at that point, they're not out in the ocean where they can be moving around. They're closer to the beach part. And I can see that being what you're saying and also working. Yeah. You have any more pictures of Secrets, Josh? It's a pretty awesome place. If you're single, it's not. I mean, think about it. Everybody's in bathing suits. People are drunk. So imagine at the club, you're a guy trying to talk to a girl, right? But everybody's half naked, drunk. Just they're playing music, food, everything in one place at nighttime. The club area opens up. You're dancing on sand. like they got an indoor part, but it's like still big and open, so you just walk under a thing. It's like one of the coolest things I ever did. But that, to Chloe's point, that I think that could work. And they are actually, if you go to secrets.com, they always have they got a live camera. It'll be wintertime, and you could go and watch the live camera just showing the area. So like we're all the way here in New Jersey. You could go on secrets.com and you could actually see the people jamming and dancing because they always keep a camera. It's pretty cool. I wonder if the camera's on now. Not for nothing. I bet they probably are open with some type of restrictions. That place is so popular. They're always crowded. They make so much money because it's such a niche type place. Like the first time I ever went there, I was like, this is like the coolest ideal I ever. And like every time I went, it was just like the coolest ideal. Like, what? You got a club on the beach with a restaurant? Like because during the day kids could go. So it's a cool thing for kids jumping and running in the water, and then they come run up. I mean, I'm talking about the beach is like right there, and then the restaurant's like right here on the sand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's such a massive place too. All the different stuff they have inside. It's pretty cool. So to Chloe's point, that would be like the perfect type of movie theater experience, sitting in tubes, with a huge screen.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Secrets.
And it's secrets, like SEA and then crits. So it's like clever. Yeah. It's called like Secrets Jamaican, like the title.
I was just watching pictures right now. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah, man. Dude. I remember. Huh?
Okay. So you've been there?
Oh yeah, I've been there a few times, and I remember going there. I took my friend Darren there for his bachelor party. That's how cool it was. So and Sandy was real mad about it. I was like, yo, it's his bachelor party, because he was my best man. I was the best man in his wedding. And she was made it clear, like, you ain't going there ever again alone. Like, that's somewhere. If you're in a relationship, you're not going. It's too much eye candy and secrets. Like, some girls got a problem with a regular club, but secrets.
It's just eye candy, though.
No, true. I mean,
let me ask you this, Chloe. Would you have a problem with your man going somewhere like that?
We going together.
See, there you go. That's how she was. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I went as a single guy a couple times, and then I went as one time in a relationship. And I don't recommend it, man. Listen, if you like to flirt and you just, I don't recommend a girl being like, yeah, sure, like not casually, like. Now, maybe if you live in the area and it's like your local scene, but you ain't driving all the way from New Jersey. It's a 3.5-hour ride to Secrets with your boys. Like,
This not the show for this, but there's a lot of insecurity in these conversations. What?
No, I mean, I definitely hear it, but I mean, I feel like if like, if it bothers you to have your significant other go to a regular club by themselves, then Secrets, you definitely, like, maybe you're like, I mean, my guy or my girl is a flirt, but I guess they could go out with their girl or their boy to the club. It kind of bothers me, but whatever. Well, you don't do that to Secrets.
Secrets, everything that happens at Secret sounds like it stays at Secret. I think that's,
yes. There you go.
Well, don't you have a rule, Tony? Y'all don't take any trips without each other or something like that?
No, we don't stay overnight. We don't stay overnight.
Overnight. That's right. Overnight. Yeah.
Really?
I may be able to finagle her to let me go to Secret. Nah, probably she won't go for
it. You guys can't stay the night over, please?
So when we got married, we both felt like we do so much stuff together that we like. We felt like we felt we don't have the need to stay the night away from each other. Like, so like I remember Mike was like, him and his boys was planning on going on a trip in the future, and he invited me, like, dude, that'd be cool. And I was like, nah, and he had a hard time understanding it, but it's not her thing, it's not my thing, it's our thing. We just both agree that, we know each other past, we know like I rap, like, okay, I know this ain't the topic for it, but so I'm gonna cut it short. But whenever something bad happens, let's just say cheating, right? It happened because there's two things: space and opportunity, right? And usually it's not gonna happen with your significant other right there. Yes, yes, secrets. Yes.
All right, so I'm looking at this, and again, it looks cool, but it doesn't exactly, scream a Las Vegas pool party either, which I think more extracurricular activities could occur. This seems like a fun event, to be honest.
This is also during the daytime.
Yeah, thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you.
I'm just saying the talent is not going to be the same as in Vegas as it is going to be.
No, yeah, I mean, you're comparing. That's like saying, I mean, it's cool to go in a little machine that make you simulate walking on the moon versus walking on the moon, right? So it's two things. So yeah, we can't compare Ocean City, Maryland to Las Vegas. Like, I mean, come on. But what I'm saying is, if you compare a regular club atmosphere, because what I'm saying is, so it's like people like when you think of like going to Florida or a hot place, right? People like, okay, perfect example. I remember when I lived in Florida, I took my kids to the mall for Halloween, right? For trick or treating, right? Because I was new, I don't know anybody, so we're gonna go to the mall. It was girls dressed up as like genies, and they had just the sheer. I'm like, so with heat, you could. Like, there you go. So just imagine at the club, you see a girl dressed up and she's attractive, right? And she could be tipsy, or a guy could be tipsy, but it's like eye candy, like, oh man, she got a nice shape, whatever. But everybody's in bathing suits. Like, we barely wearing anything, and we're intoxicated, and we're like, it's another level. Trust me. And I'm a clubber guy. Like, I couldn't count how many times I've been to a club. Like, that was just my scene, right? I love to dance, whatever. But I never went to a club that gave you that atmosphere of secrets. It's another level when you take clothing, when you take majority of your clothing out of the way, it's just something else. And the atmosphere, the people like getting tipsy, it's a different level. Like, but this is a topic for another show, as Mike.
Yeah, as I said earlier.
Josh, make sure you write that down.
My wheels are turning right now. Topics.
No, trust me, bro.
I mean,
listen.
I think this is a great suggestion for Banks, but by looking at the talent, I'm not really that impressed, to be honest.
Yeah. And there's no melanin in these pictures at all, by the way. I just want to make sure that's cool.
I mean, I will say this. The times I did go is, it's the word minority means, less than. So yeah, it definitely wasn't as many melon all the times I went. I mean, it was some out there, but it wasn't. Obviously, it's not the majority. I mean,
also,
there's like 100. There's like 300 people in this picture. There's literally no black person in this whole picture.
And
literally.
In addition, I think it's quite obvious that everyone is at least 30 plus, 35 plus, and in Vegas, you would have between, let's say 18, 21 to 30.
Yeah, but you can't say that from that one picture. I mean, I've went in person, and it definitely some people was, I mean, you gotta be, so after a certain hour, the kids gotta leave. So they make kids leave, and then it turns to like a club, and then you gotta be 21 to get in. And so it definitely, I mean, it's a good time though. But again, I think Josh, you said in the past, like you clubbing isn't your thing. I think you said you never been to a club, right?
No, I lived in Miami, so I've been clubbing plenty of times. Just my standards for clubbing are significantly higher.
Right. Yeah.
So I was gonna say something. I wanted to get his thoughts, Josh, because he missed the part about the theater, because we're theater guys and stuff like that. Not the floating theater, but the
pop-up theater.
No, no, about the AMC, what they're doing with Universal, because you brought that up in our chat too, Tony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, did you hear about the deal at all, Tony?
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but AMC and Universal is doing a deal. So like 2 weeks later, then movies could go on on demand or whatever.
17 days.
17 days. Okay.
Yeah.
That, what, in a weird way, that's kind of cool. Like, imagine if we had that all along, right? I think it might be a hit. So imagine there's a lot of people who rather not go to the movies sometimes, right? And then there's movies that, like for me, I love going to movies, but there's some movies like me and Mike kind of talked about, like, that ain't really a movie. I'll go to the movies to see. Like, better yet, Chloe probably got the best point when she said before, everything isn't a movie for me. You know, it's some stuff I'd rather watch at home and get a better feeling at home. So imagine if you're like, I'll skip out on that one in the movies, but in 17 days, I'll watch it at home. Now, did they announce pricing? That's the thing. So I'm curious
For
to know
the home or for the theater.
Yeah, home it's going to be. JC was saying it's going to be around what, like a $25 deal, where it's the same thing how you rent movies now digitally. So like you get the rent it or whatever for like 48 hours. You have an opportunity to watch it for $20. It'd be that premium price.
I like that. I think that's brilliant.
Well,
like,
Chloé made a great point I didn't think about, that because it's this way, it'll make people rush to the theaters to see it those first couple of weeks.
I was literally about to say, those people that gotta see it day one, like some of us, we're those movie guys, right? Dude, we're gonna go to the theater. But I mean, it'll give you a chance. If you're a single mother and you got 3 kids and they want to go see it, say, listen, I know your friends are gonna go see it, but we're gonna wait. And we're gonna watch it for $25, and then you could even invite some friends over, and and then we're gonna have our own little movie thing here and save money versus going and paying for the popcorn and the Presto bites and all that stuff. So I think this is gonna be cool. This is gonna give you, and then it's not stealing away from the day one stuff, right? Because when they thought about it, they thought like, remember with movies, it's like, okay, the big thing with movies to make a movie, how great is a movie, right? What happened with Titanic and like Avatar? They came out in the movies and they showed how long they stayed at the top, right? Like how long it took them before it went down, like in people going to see it, right? So I think Avatar is a little bit different. I think at first a lot of people went out to see Avatar, and then it got bigger and bigger. Whereas
they only had 70 million their opening weekend.
Right. So let me take that out of there. But traditionally, movies, the most amount of people go out in the beginning, and then how great a movie is to see how long it's sustained at that many people going continuously every week, right? Oh, every week, so many people, and then maybe So this is cool because you get a chance to have the crazy crowd in the beginning that typically you would have got the most amount of people in the beginning, right? And so what you said, 17 days?
Yep, 17 days.
So 17 days, you got essentially, 3 weeks of
it's 3 weekends. So the first, opening weekend, so it'll wind up being 3 weekends.
There you go. Yeah, because I was like 17. That's a weird number. But okay, great. That's perfect. So you get your 3 weekends where usually that's like the top amount of people are going those first 3 weekends, right? I just wonder if it's going to be a really drastic decline, right? So over time, we don't know socially if people are going to be accustomed to say, okay, I always went to the movies in the beginning because I'm a movie guy, but you know what? Like if the trend's going to be, hey, they're not making as much money in the movies now, people are waiting. I'm curious because before we had no choice, right? So you just went to movies anyway. So some of those people that had those crazy opening day sales, I wonder will some of those sales or those 3 weeks actually start to be a little lower because some of those people was forced to go. So they went because their friends was going. They probably would have waited anyway, but it's a thing. If most of our friends are going, so I'm just gonna go anyway, opening day, opening weekend. But now maybe I'm like, I'll wait.
Well, Josh is a perfect example. Like he said, like he didn't see Star Wars till it was out like a month already. Remember the Rise of Skywalker? Right. So, that would definitely change for him.
And he's a big Star Wars fan. So Josh, So here's the question. Would this system force you to go see it earlier than you typically would have, right? Because you want to see it in the big screen, or would you say, you know what, I'll just watch it at home? That's the question.
No, certain films, and we'll discuss it momentarily, like Avatar, which you brought up, Tony. Certain films do need to be seen in the film. I'm sure Tenet is certainly under that category. And with the deal, it's still going to be in theaters, but it'll also be, available for home streaming as well. So it's not like they're taking it out of the theaters.
Right. That's cool. And then I think 3 weekends is cool because it's not like a whole month and you feel like, the movie's going to be kind of old by then. Let me just go see it. I feel like 3 weekends is probably a good number. I'm sure they did the math and the statistics that give us 3 good weekends first. We can make a good amount of money in the 3 weekends. And if we taper off, well, we still got a deal. So we're going to make some of that money also. So. Smart.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But the other theaters aren't on board. Like Regal, which we go to, and other ones. They're on board. So it's interesting, the whole theater dichotomy right now between
so this is the
all
only
theaters.
AMC thing. Only
Yeah.
AMC
And Universal, yeah.
AMC Universal.
AMC Universal, yeah, basically. So Fast and Furious, for example, Fast 9 will be like one of the first movies that'll be a part of this situation with AMC.
Oh, did they say when? They gave a time frame?
I know they didn't give a time frame, but that comes out April, so I'm sure they'll be doing it by April. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. And the final topic of the day, it is Avatar 2 versus Aquaman 2, which are apparently supposed to be in the theaters at the same time in December 2022. Now, I forget, did everyone see the original Avatar? And if you saw it in theaters?
I definitely seen it in theaters.
I saw it, but I didn't see it in theaters. So
I saw it 3D on an IMAX.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it the biggest, best way you could see it. Yeah. But I will say this. I'm not saying the movie was bad, but the movie was so long. I remember being tired. I fell asleep probably for like 45 minutes of the movie. So I'd never seen like remember when it was like flying in the jungle or something was going on. When the girl and the guy was talking for the both species, when they whatever, I guess the guy turned into the whatever. So I know I missed a lot of that. So I never got a chance to watch it again, to fully see, like, I mean, I got the idea. It was so long. That 45 minutes didn't take away from the movie. I get the point. You know what I'm saying? But I still at one day want to watch it over. But yeah, to your point, I did see it in the movies. It was one of those things where I felt like, oh, I had to go see it in the movies because they made such a big deal about it.
And then I guess to tie in the previous topic about, streaming versus theater, I see it like, okay, a movie like Avatar, right? The original one. I saw it 3 times. I think 2 times in IMAX 3D and 1 time in regular 3D. So streaming is a little bit different because it goes by IP. So you're not going to count those streams as different views. But with movie theaters and box office, 3 times, that's 3 different, times that you had to pay to go see it. So to me, it's calculated differently and it might be more valuable. And then I thought it was interesting that Avatar 2, and I had no idea about this, apparently takes place underwater. So that's going to be a completely different experience as well.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm thinking, okay, does that mean Avatar 3 is going to take place in the sky? Just to give you all those elements. And then, you cannot really bet against Jim Cameron, especially at the box office, especially when he had nothing else to do for 10 years, a whole decade. And it took 20 movies and a cinematic universe with Endgame, right, in order to beat Avatar.
And a re-release.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you got a good point. I mean, it's a different conversation than these 2 things, but it's also, by the time Avatar 2 comes out, it will be like 13 years from Avatar 1. You got like whole generations who weren't alive when Avatar 1 came out.
Right.
So at this point, so I don't know if it'll break the Endgame record now or whatever Avatar 2.
I don't think so.
Well, the thing is, Avatar itself, the original one, you had people from all demographics. So you had people who are senior citizens going to see it, in addition to kids. So it is a very wide range of interest.
I think what got Avatar 1 to be so popular was word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at the right timing when 3D was becoming a big thing. As Chloe said, IMAX was becoming a big thing. So it was something that you had to see. I don't even think it necessarily was the movie itself. Like all these years, I didn't go back and really watch. I mean, the movie was good, but I don't think it was like, again, I think it was more because of the technology. It wowed people because of the 3D and the graphics of it, right? I don't think it was, oh man, Avatar was this amazing movie. It was just like, it was the perfect timing. I feel like, I don't want to say it could have been any movie, but it could have been a similar movie, again, with, again, like your guys' point, similar movie with a really big, director or somebody that was known, right? So you're like, okay, I know their work is great work. But it was the technology. I mean, the IMAX was such a big deal. Now it's so common. It's like, We don't watch like 1,000 movies in IMAX and 3D, and that's nothing special. It's not gonna wow me now. But then when people was like, dude, you have to see it, but you have to see it in IMAX. You have to see it in 3D. Like, you were told that. Like, everyone who's seen that movie was told that, whether they all went and seen it like that. So I think it's a difference, you know.
Well,
and then also, one last thing is Mike said it's so many years later, right? Well, here's the thing that we don't think about. So when it was first something you never heard of, right? In cinematically, it's like, this thing looks really good. Let's go check it out. Now you got some people who did see it who might prejudge it and be like, I mean, it's Avatar. I don't need to go see it. So when it's mysterious and it's something you never heard of, you have more that I gotta check this thing out. Everybody's talking about it. But now some people are like, man, it's Avatar, dude. I mean, how much different can it be than the other one? Because when you throw in the technology, like, but you gotta see it. Like, dude, I've seen 3D before. Like,
well, hold on, Tony Stark Jr. I don't think the technology is the fact that it was on 3D and IMAX. I think it's the production of that type of technology.
I actually piggyback on Tony's point, because I'm the person who saw it like 2 years after it came out at home, and I was like, the movie was only okay to me, and everybody told me you had to see it in theaters. Like, it was different if you would have saw it in theaters as far as the movie is concerned. And people who I tell I didn't see it in theaters, they're like, yeah, you didn't really get the best of the movie then, stuff like that. So yeah, but I think it'll do well. I still think it'll beat Aquaman as far as this category is concerned. But I don't think it'll break the Endgame record this time.
No, not at all.
Well, I guess that depends on Disney, right? Since they own Fox and thus Avatar. So it really depends, because would that be great competition for them? Because all that profit is still going to them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna go to them. Yeah. Gonna go to them regardless. But I think sometimes, you got to capitalize on the momentum. I think sometimes people miss this a little bit, and waiting that long, because that's a long time, man. Like, between one movie to the next. Even Aquaman, I'm thinking that's a long time, and that's gonna be like 5 years, for that. So I feel like that, 13 is just forever.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard of this, but it was called like the 4-year curse when was a movie with the Pacific Rim. So when Pacific Rim Part 2 was going to come out, it was 4 years later. And I watched some video that was saying like the 4-year curse, whenever there's a movie that's like the second one is 4 years later, it never does as well. And I was watching this whole big thing. I was like, I never really thought about that. So they got a bunch of different examples. So again, Avatar obviously is like a movie that they're gonna promote it well, I'm sure. It's like, it was this great, amazing movie, and you got to see. But Mike, I think, killed it. People was like, dude, you didn't like it that much because you ain't see it in the theater. But we don't have that feeling like we did with 3D and IMAX and stuff anymore. We've been seeing this for over 10 years now. IMAX 3. Like, I don't even like to go see stuff. Like, okay, perfect example. I went and seen Endgame in 3D the first day. And I had to see it the next day out of 3D because I felt like sometimes 3D messes stuff up. You're trying to focus on certain stuff, but you're missing certain stuff. So I feel like 3D is not great like it used to be when it first came out. So I feel like I'd rather not go see 3D anymore. Like, I feel like 3D ain't the end all be all for me anymore. And I feel like they get your extra money for 3D, but the whole movie isn't even in 3D. It's a couple scenes, and it's just like, so I feel like 3D isn't what it was when Avatar came out, where you're like, if you're seeing it, you're seeing it like that. Now some people are gonna be like, I'll probably pass on the 3D.
Well, I don't think that the technology is going to be 3D with Avatar. My prediction is it's going to be VR, like Josh alluded to last week, and that would be phenomenal. Like, I would love to see Avatar 2 in VR at home. Or even in the theater. They might even have like put your smartphone into this headset while you're in the theater so you can get the surround sound. Yeah, and then there's this augmented technology. When we went to that museum, Josh, where you take your phone and you download an app, and it's augmented. So it's like real life and virtual reality in one. So like, if they incorporate that into this Avatar film, which they probably are going to do something because they're aware of the technology aspect, and it did take 10 years for this to come out, I'd be interested to see that. And I think that they'll make more money than anything else, especially during pandemic times.
Well, here's the only problem with that. So I don't know. I never told y'all this, but I was a super phone guy, right? So like I was I used to watch all the phone videos. It wasn't that long ago, but I got this new phone and I kind of was like, all right, this phone succeeds everything I have. So I kind of was not that super into phones. Here's the problem with the phone game, right? There's too many different, especially Android, right? There's too many different tiers of phones. So you can't have a bunch of people walk into a room, or even a bunch of people sit home at their house and we say, hey, we got this thing you can slap your phone in, because the phones there's so many variations. There's so many low tier model phones that can't do what other phones do, or not even can't do, that don't have the same visuals, right? Like there's not that many 4K screens. There's not that many phones. There's so many kids that have a lower tier phone. Like you could get a AJ93, right? Samsung phone. That's a free phone that they give out, right? Oh, here's a free phone. That phone, it's not even gonna have like 1080p, right? So when people talk about how great, go ahead.
This movie's coming out in 2 years, right? 2022. So a year and a half. By the time 2 years is here, I would put money on it that all the phones are going to be to a certain standard.
No, trust me, I'm a phone guy. People, they make so much money. Hear me out. They make so much money off of having budget phones. It's the budget. Like, all right, this is how phones cost. A budget phone. Good.
The budget phones are going to be like, think about it now. You can go get an iPhone, whatever, for free. Like by 2 years from now, the budget phones are going to be comparable to. Oh, it's a butterfly. It's going to be it's huge. It's going to be comparable to the phone. Sorry.
No. So here's how I go. There's budget phones.
The budget phones are going to be technologically savvy phones.
It's not going to happen. Listen, what you're talking about, there's budget phones, there's mid-rangers, and then there's flagship phones. So maybe the mid-range phones, I give you that. So mid-range phones would be like right now they have what they're on a Galaxy S20s now, right? They just changed the number to S20s. So they have they don't have a budget Galaxy S20. That's not a thing. There's the mid-range, and then there's the Plus, which is the flagship. Actually, technically, the regular one is considered flagship. The Plus is like above a flagship. So there's no mid-range like the typical phones. Like there's still a huge market for these budget phones where the specs are lower, because you get those for your kids, you get those for people who, when you see an older person that's like, I don't use the internet on my phone or whatever, they're never gonna stop making money off of these budget phones.
Wait, I'm a little bit lost.
Right.
What's your argument that the technology is not going to be?
What I'm saying is that you were saying that if you will be wowed, right, if you put like your phone in a VR thing, right? But what made Avatar, again, Mike alluded to, so amazing was that it looked amazing. So your thing was like, imagine what VR would look like. But if you got a low quality phone trying to watch it in VR, it kind of defeats the purpose if you're not going to get that high quality, you know?
Well, the augmented technology that we used, it didn't really matter what phone it was, because it was, like I said, merged. So it's live action or real life, and then there's graphics that are overlaid on top of that. So like the majority of the movie would still be in 8K, whatever it is, and there'll be augmented technology or images on like the screen as an overlay. So it wouldn't really matter what type of phone you have.
Here's the thing where technology goes. If streaming got that good, because remember, I'm into cloud, right? So if the cloud is that good, then that could work, because then technically they'll just stream from the cloud the visuals onto whatever display you're on. Then the display wouldn't matter, you know. But right now, the way technology is, again, we're talking 2 years, they might be able to pull that off in 2 years. But right now, the way your visuals go is like, for instance, if you're home right now, right, and you don't have a 4K TV, you can't watch 4K. You're not going to be able to watch 4K unless you stream it from the cloud. You're not going to be able to watch. You're not going to be able to play your video game in 4K if your TV is in 4K. So you're not going to be able to have a phone that's not in 4K and watch Avatar in 4K in VR. That's just not the way it works, unless it's streamed from the cloud. And not everybody's not even big on streaming for the cloud. So in 2 years, maybe.
So I think that you both are right in certain aspects, but I think that I don't think the VR phone thing will be there, but I do think, knowing James Cameron, that he will have something different than he had in the last Avatar, technology wise. There will be some sort of an upgrade that wasn't there. I don't know if it'll be enough to make it surpass Endgame because of the time or the other stuff, but I do think there will be something new. Because if you look at his history, going back to Terminator 1, he waited 8 years for Terminator 2, and it was like it was extra visuals and stuff like that. And then you go to Titanic, that was different. And then the Avatar. So he's always got something up his sleeve, but I just don't think it'll be enough to surpass Endgame, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not completely sold on the 4-year curse. After all, some of the biggest franchises waited 4 years, like James Bond, the Dark Knight trilogy. 2008 was The Dark Knight. 2012 was The Dark Knight Rises. So it really depends on the brand which you can do that with, and I think Avatar has earned that ability, because even before the original movie came out, we heard it took 10 years for production for that. That was part of the selling point. So the fact that it'll take 13 years, and it might have the fact that it's underwater, so that's the other catch. So everything is going to be underwater. So the underwater Navi, right? In addition to possible VR. And was it 3 or 4 years ago when the S8 came out, you can get the gear with it. So VR is super easy to do that. And all you really need, similar to the museum Chloé and I went to, all you need to do is have an app that has everything in it. So all you need is a program, the same way that you would get 3D glasses or goggles or whatever. All you got to do is get a VR or augmented reality type of interface, and the program's already uploaded for the specific film, and it's already queued, so it's going to be flawless.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter bought me one of those for Christmas. But again, the phone itself has to meet that standard. So when they came out with the S8 and they gave you the gear, it was for that phone specifically. You wasn't going to be able to take an older phone and put it in. It was not going to be the same thing. But my question is, and I'm done, was Avatar that good, right, of a movie, or was it because the technology was new and it was that great of like a wow with the technology?
Oh, definitely wow with the technology and the sensory experience, which they've upgraded since then. So we don't
but now
we're gonna get.
Right, but if you was to compare Avatar then to whatever in 3D you've seen then, Avatar definitely stands out, right? Avatar was probably the de a la creme of like 3D, right, at the time. So, but now 3D has been so common. We've been seeing this for how many years now, right? So it's not, so like Mike's point, if he come out with something different, like maybe at that point they'll have more like, it's water, right? Like if anybody ever been in a Spider-Man ride at Universal Theater, like you feel like water splash on you, heat comes out. So if it's going to be like some theaters got like a little bit of water splash on you, then maybe, but I feel like he can't pull off what he did 13 years ago now, because we're all that's nothing new now, is what I'm saying,
And unless, so I will say one thing though, Tony, unless this movie is that good, and then the word of mouth travels.
Well, yes, you're right. Yes, that's a good point. If it is that good,
then it can maybe make the money and whatnot. They want to say that, part of it, but
absolutely.
Yeah, and then with the Avatar, sorry Josh, with the Avatar, they plan on dropping every other year. Once this one comes out,
because Disney's at the helm, right?
Yeah, because Disney's at the helm and whatnot.
And then you also have the fact that Avatar 1 was essentially, the alien version of Pocahontas, right? So that now they have an opportunity to create a whole new story, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, since we started this about Aquaman, what are your thoughts on that part? So what do you think that'll do, Tony, I guess?
I think Aquaman was one of the better DC movies. So I think and Jason Momoa is like really loved. So I think you got two things. The movie itself was really good, and the character who's playing the main character is an individual people really like. The women like him, like so I think he was a really good no, I mean, listen, my wife, like, she'll definitely go see Aquaman. So there's women who will go see Aquaman. But so I mean, any little thing you could do, right, to bring in more people, that's smart, right? So I think Aquaman will do good. Unlike Avatar, I don't think Avatar was a great movie. I didn't watch Avatar and say I can't wait for the sequel. I watched and say, man, that the technology was amazing. But Aquaman, I definitely want to see a sequel. So I think wait
a second. You did fall asleep for how long in Avatar?
No, I really did. Yeah.
Aquaman too.
Yeah, but I also never, as a movie guy, I never had a conversation in my life with people like, yo, Avatar, man, that movie, never. Like, I don't know anybody that was like, dude, the story. I know people was like the special effects, like the thing Josh pulled up, how they showed how they put the, the technology on Zoe. That's what people talk about with Avatar that I know. I don't personally, I'm just me. I never had conversations with people like, man, that movie was great. It's like, yo, the 3D and the special effects. Like, did you see it in IMAX? Bro, you had to have seen it in IMAX. Like, that's
what about Aquaman? I didn't hear people talk about Aquaman. I didn't even see Aquaman until it came out on TV.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you're also not a comic book person, but
that's true.
I mean, but so it didn't give you that rush to go see it, because that's how they got people, right? If you were a comic book person, you rushed out to see it, but also you rushed out and seen it. It was like, dude, Aquaman was pretty good. It might be one of DC, like when we all did our top movies, Aquaman was in there. Like, Aquaman was in there, so if you had me do like your top sci-fi movies, Avatar ain't even gonna be on the list, So that's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking Avatar, but I think what wowed people was the technology, is all I'm saying. I
am curious to see what a sequel, what it'll do. Like with everything we talked about, I'm curious to see how people will be affected by everything, the gap, the technology they already seen before, the fact that they already seen the people, because even the people in the world was new to them. That part's not going to be new. So right. I'm curious to see that. I think Aquaman has a fan base going back 50, 60 years. So right. I think that'll still do numbers.
And they nailed it. Remember, watching these DC movies or any of these movies, right? We always want to know who's going to be casted. Can they pull it off? So Aquaman is a one, like when we think Christian Bale, or we think of what's his name that played as the Joker? That oh my god,
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath Ledger, right? So we think of these movies and we think of like that prominent character. Did you nail it? We all could agree. Like Aquaman he nailed it, right? The edgy Aquaman. So he nailed it for me. So he's coming back. Like the first movie was good, story was good, the cinematics. I mean, what was bad with Aquaman? So that's why
I watched it again recently. I was like, it was a really good movie. I watched it again at home.
So that's what made Aquaman. And not for nothing, I did doze off a little bit on Aquaman too. When he was fighting the Black Mantis, I actually dozed off on that part.
Bro, you stay at home. What's going on with you?
No, I just need to stop going. I just need to not stay up late and go to the movies next day. That's all.
Did you fall asleep at the drive-in too recently? You said
I did. Yeah.
Hilarious. Okay. Well,
Well,
Josh,
Tony will get some rest eventually.
I'm good now. I'm probably about to cut the grass.
Okay. All right. Well, eventually I'm sure he'll get some rest and be prepared to see some good screens, some good movies. And just a nice reminder for everyone to go and follow the Mental Theater Instagram page. Have a lot of cool content on there, especially this young man here.
Oh.
See, that's what happens when you get some rest. You see how rested you were there?
No, you're right. What was that? I think that was my birthday last year.
It was.
Yeah. I always make a video of my whole day for my birthday, like everything I'm doing. And I always wake up like wired. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. I didn't see that one. I saw it this year. I gotta go back and watch that.
I mean, Josh showed it like a billion times. I thought you would have probably went and seen it.
No, I haven't seen the whole video. No,
gotcha.
I gotta go back and watch.
I think Josh, that's where.
Matter of fact, send it to me. You'll find it before I will. So send it to me.
Oh yeah. And you gotta stay to the end because Sandy on my birthday got her car towed. Well, she didn't get her car towed, but her car got towed. It wasn't her fault, but yeah. So it got a crazy.
What led to y'all going to what was the restaurant?
Budokan. Yeah, we had that whole talk about Budokan. That video. Yeah, that's how you got it because I shared the video.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
All right, though, guys, enjoy your Sunday, and I guess Chloe and I will report how Shazam was at the drive-in later.
Right, that's today. Yeah, I said that to Mike. I was like, isn't that coming up this weekend? Yeah.
They both never seen the movie, so I'm dying to see what their reaction
is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys. Enjoy your Sunday.
All right. Have a good
All
one.
right.